Football, it's America's game. With the biggest crowds, the biggest plays, and the biggest hits. But this season, the NFL is taking additional steps to protect its players from the impact of all those blows, allowing them to wear guardian caps during regular season games. It slips over a helmet and softens the impact by up to 33%, according to the manufacturer. The question now, will the players actually wear them?
This is a guardian cap.
Colts tight end Kylan Granson plans to.
All it is essentially a little extra padding on the exterior of the helmet.
And he's hoping his stance rubs off on others.
Prioritize your safety because, it's a hard game. It's hard on the body. And, there's life after football.
But some other players in the rough and tumble world of the NFL have scoffed at the idea of extra protection. One player writing on X, "These caps make no difference." Another simply saying, "Ew."
Do you think the primary pushback from people is just it looks weird?
Some of it definitely is. It looks kind of silly to them. My health takes precedent over aesthetic and look or comfortability.
Guardian caps first appeared on the practice scene in 2022, the NFL ultimately requiring them for most positions, but there was no option to wear one in a game until now. The NFL says it wants to lower the frequency of major blows to the head as medical experts fear the long-term impact of all those hits, like CTE.
CTE stands for chronic traumatic encephalopathy, a degenerative brain disease that starts while someone is an active athlete getting hundreds or thousands of hits to the head.
The progressive condition can cause a long list of symptoms, from depression and anxiety to aggression, memory loss, and dementia. A recent study found it's not just concussions that cause CTE, but cumulative hits over the course of a career.
We think the Guardian cap's doing two things. One is that the additional padding is limiting the amount of force that's actually going into the brain. And number two, they slide on the surface of the helmet, dispersing some of that energy.
The NFL reports a 52% drop in concussions during preseason practices among players wearing the Guardian caps. Though Nowinski notes there's no peer-reviewed study yet published that backs up the league's data. The NFL has also been funding the development of new helmets with extra protection, which have tested so well, according to the league, they can be worn instead of Guardian caps in practice. But experts still warn there's no silver bullet.
There is always a risk that the better the equipment gets, the more players feel invincible and use their head as a weapon.
For now, Granson says the decision to wear a Guardian cap for pros and younger players alike is a no-brainer.
I think it's definitely important for safety starting early.
And Sam is joining us now. So let's pick up on that thread, Sam, starting early. There are some high schools who are giving options for those athletes to wear Guardian caps too, right? What's your sense, based on your reporting on this, of how widespread it could end up being, not just at the pros, but at the lower levels as well?
Sure. So my sense is, Hallie, let's start with the prevalence part of this first.
Yeah.
Boston University CTE Center studied 376 brains of deceased former NFL players. 345 of them were diagnosed with CTE. That is a 91.7% rate. It's shocking. Now, look, that's also self-selecting. You have family members who are donating brains on behalf of their loved ones, or football players who perhaps knew they might be suffering. So that's one slice. But what the study does say is that this is not about a couple of different hits. It's about a lifetime, as you suggest, from youth, really, of small incremental hits that add up. Now, right now, there are no requirements on the youth level or the high school level for these Guardian caps. You don't really see them. But I will tell you, just anecdotally, we did a story on this about a week ago, 6 or 7 high school and middle school students who died recently, within a matter of weeks after playing football or from football-related activities. A few of those were traumatic brain injury-related, at least appeared to be. The father of one of those boys said he wants to see Guardian caps at the lower levels, and he wants to see it right now before a single other person dies. Some of the evidence is inconclusive at this point. The NFL has published its own data on this. There's not sort of peer-reviewed studies that have said this absolutely reduces head injuries and concussions, but if we believe that what they've collected so far is accurate, yeah, it could absolutely make a difference from the lower levels all the way on up to adults.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.